Some of you may already know why you're here. Is there anybody who doesn't know why they're here? Okay, so it's not great. And so I'm both telling you this and then kind of asking for your help, I guess, or advice or guidance. But the bottom line is I have pancreatic cancer. And it's stage 4, which is not a great thing. But I'm young and I'm healthy, and I can take the most aggressive kind of chemotherapy they have. And so that will start Wednesday morning. And I have plenty of energy for the fight that lies ahead. But off the record, kind of what I'm asking for your help is so that I don't have to tell this story 1,000 times. That's kind of why I've decided to do this, just to save time on having to tell this story over and over. So the point is, while of course I wish I wasn't telling you this, I'm fine, I'm at peace with everything, I'm happy on the inside. I want to use this as an opportunity to teach, to make people better, to help them understand what's important in life, what matters, how to make them better and the people around them. So that's what I want to use whatever time I have left to do. And I'm confident that it won't be a time frame that is just a few months. It'll be a time frame that's more, hopefully, several years. So that's the bottom line. And I don't know if you want me to say more, or if you have questions, or if you want to ask some of my staff people for comments, but that's why I asked you here, just to help me get the word out so that people hear it and they hear what I want them to be, how I want them to take it. And I want to take it as an opportunity to take a look at their own lives and make sure they're doing what matters.
If you don't mind, you might talk about how it came about that you became aware that this was happening.
I ordered it online from Zappos, which is great because it only took like a day to get here. And I've decided it doesn't fit, so it's going back. And
Okay, that's what I heard.
yeah. Well, this, now that I know what the symptoms are, the symptoms go back a couple of years. And so it's been percolating for longer than I'd like to think. But last weekend I was having some real serious abdominal pain, and I was in Sterling, Illinois, to talk to one of our CEO classes. And after class, the facilitator, our teacher there, said, "You need to go to the doctor because something's wrong with you." And so I called my doctor, who said, "You really need to go to the emergency room just to make sure it's not appendicitis." And that doctor poked and prodded a little bit and then said, "We need to do a CAT scan." And then almost immediately said, "Okay, here's what you're looking at." And so through the course of the rest of the week, we did a biopsy and all of the pathology and all that kind of stuff. And we met with our oncologist this morning to chart out what's going to happen. So I already have a chemo port that was put in today, and we'll start in on the most aggressive form of chemotherapy immediately. So pancreatic cancer, if you know anything about it, is an incredibly insidious disease. Not only because by the time you have symptoms that are noticeable, it's very long, very far into the game. And so that's the unfortunate thing about that particular disease.
How will this affect your normal schedule, Greg?
Well, I have been on the road traveling for about 3 months, and that will have to change immediately. So I'll be doing chemotherapy for probably 2 to 4 months. And I don't know, we'll have to see how much traveling I can do during that. So I'll have to cut back on that for sure. Because I've traveled almost 20,000 miles in the last 3 months and spoken over 60 times. And that's just not going to be possible.
How old are you, Greg?
77.
You don't look that old.
You wrote it down, though. You had me as a teacher and you wrote it down.
I absolutely did
She's
not.
foolish.
I only
She
had
believes what she's
7.
told.
I only had 7.
You wrote it
down.
down.
So.
You freaking wrote it down because you look like, wow, it's a hard road. I am 57. I won't be 58 for another 5 or 6 days. The 22nd, I turned
Well,
58.
see, I wrote the 7 because I knew the 5 was going to go before it. I was just going backwards.
Uh-huh. So I turned 58 on the 22nd.
Any idea of what you're gonna do about your 1,000 things that you do? State Board of Education, blah, blah, blah.
We're just going to have to look. I've talked with the state superintendent and the chairman of the board, who said you should consider yourself a member of the state board until you decide you're not. So I know I'll miss a meeting this week, and then we'll just kind of have to see what happens from there. But as long as I can be productive and positive and make a difference, then I'll stay with as many things as I can.
Having your treatments done locally?
Yes. Dr. D is my oncologist. He's great. And that's another thing I'm grateful about this community, is that we have such top-notch care that we can get right here.
What do you, sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
what do you need from your students and from the community?
I hope they'll all understand that I appreciate so much that they reach out and want to say things and spend time. I hope people will understand that I'll read every word that comes to me. I just may not be able to respond timely or sometimes at all. In a timely fashion, that was not well said, but I may not be able to respond in a timely fashion, or sometimes not at all. But it doesn't mean I won't read and consider and take to heart everything they have to say.
Does this year's crop of students know this?
The Effingham students I told this morning. So yes, the kids in the CEO class here know. And I'll have notes going out to all of our classes tonight so that they know. Again, just wanting to make sure they hear it from me. Because here's the thing, if people don't hear it from me, they only get a chance to be sad. If they hear it from me, they go, he's okay, he wants me to be okay, he wants me to do something important with my life. I sent a letter to the editor the other day that, in honor of Dr. Holsketter, but just take a moment today and call 2 or 3 people and say, can I tell you something I really like about you? Just take that moment to do that, and your life will turn from one of too easily focusing on complaints and things that aren't right and things that aren't what we want, to a life that, like, how can I not be grateful? So I look at this, and some people might say, you know, I don't know how you're grateful for such a disease like this, but I mean, look what it's done already. You know, I've got all kinds of people who surround us, who care about us and love us and want us to do well. People in our work situation all over the country who say, we'll step in, we're here, we want this thing to grow, we want it to be healthy. Great family, great medical people. I don't know how you don't just feel grateful about all of that. I don't know what there is to really feel sad about.